Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, we're diving into the rise of one of the most powerful and fascinating civilizations in history, ancient Egypt. From the Nile to the pyramids, we're going to explore how Egypt transformed from a collection of small tribes to one of the world's greatest empires. So, grab your time machine and let's go. Thousands of years ago, around 3100 BCE, the fertile banks of the Nile River became the cradle of one of the world's first great civilizations. Early Egyptians didn't just survive, they thrived. The river provided fertile soil for agriculture, and soon, small farming communities began to settle along its banks. But life along the Nile wasn't always peaceful. Egypt was divided into two regions, Upper Egypt in the south and Lower Egypt in the north. Each region was ruled by separate leaders, and frequent conflicts arose between them. Everything changed around 3100 BCE, when a powerful ruler named Narmer, also known as Menes, united these two regions into one. This marked the beginning of the first dynasty, and Egypt was now a single kingdom. Narmer's unification was more than just political, it set the stage for one of the longest-lasting empires in history. Narmer's unification laid the foundation for Egypt's political and cultural growth, creating a centralized government and a unified identity that would last for over 3,000 years. Now that Egypt was united, it was time to build its legacy. Enter the pharaohs. These divine rulers were believed to be gods on earth, the intermediaries between the gods and the people. And under their rule, Egypt saw an age of monumental achievements. Perhaps the most iconic symbols of ancient Egypt are its pyramids, massive tombs built for the pharaohs. The most famous of them all? The Great Pyramid of Giza, built for Pharaoh Khufu around 2580 BCE. Standing at over 480 feet, it was the tallest man-made structure in the world for nearly 4,000 years. As Egypt grew in wealth and power, its influence spread far and wide. But, like all empires, Egypt went through periods of instability. After the Old Kingdom collapsed, a new era known as the Middle Kingdom began around 2050 BCE. This was an age of renaissance for Egypt. Pharaohs like Mentuhotep II restored order and stability, and Egypt began expanding its borders, reaching into Nubia and the Levant. It was also a time of great cultural growth, with advances in art, literature, and trade. But it wasn't until the New Kingdom, around 1550 BCE, that Egypt truly became an empire. This was the Golden Age of Egypt, an era of military conquest, monumental construction projects, and some of the most famous pharaohs in history. Pharaohs like Hatshepsut, one of Egypt's few female rulers, expanded Egypt's influence through trade and diplomacy. And Ramses II, known as Ramses the Great, led Egypt into battle, securing its borders and building incredible monuments like the temples at Abu Simbel. Unfortunately, like all great empires, Egypt's power eventually began to fade. By the time of the first millennium BCE, Egypt faced invasions from foreign powers like the Assyrians, Persians, and eventually the Greeks. By 332 BCE, Egypt fell under the control of Alexander the Great, and later became part of the Roman Empire. But despite its fall, Egypt's legacy lives on in its monumental achievements, its contributions to writing, architecture, and religion, and its influence on the world for centuries to come. From humble beginnings along the Nile to the heights of empire, ancient Egypt was truly one of the most remarkable civilizations in history. Its legacy continues to inspire and intrigue us today. Thanks for watching, and if you want to learn more about ancient Egypt, or any other civilizations, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content.